What's up, you guys? This is Chris Rukov for Sunday Warm-Up. This is the last segment of this student's coaching. I hope you enjoy it. If you do, give the video a thumbs up. It helps me tremendously. If you like the content that I'm sharing with you, just hit subscribe and drop a comment, drop a question. All right, enjoy the footage, guys. I want you to point your attention on table 1 to see what happens. Just watch it and comment on it later. Limp, right? You check. And now what happens? What does he do? Did you notice how he stole your blind? Just like that. You didn't even know it. You didn't even know it, bro. Exactly what I'm talking about. Notice how he stole your blind. And I'm like, even I rolled wall. Alright. Going for the next one, 16 minutes and something. See how almost 1 hour passed by, bro? Have you noticed?
Yeah.
True. 5-5. What happened if the button opens? What do we do? Okay, I mean, obviously you did the right thing here, because I'm writing before the action has taken place. We're gonna see pocket 5 somewhere. There you go. And I'm asking what happens if the button opens here.
I don't see it. It's frozen. Yeah.
Oh.
Picture.
Sorry. I will stop it and start it again.
Now I see something. Yeah, I see it now.
Okay, so here I was asking what happens if the button opens with the 5s, what are we gonna do? But actually the cutoff opened, and you did the thing that I wanted to see what you want to do. I would 3-bet those, and that's what you do. You 3-bet them. I mean, I do have deuces, 3s, 4s, 5s, and 6s into my 3-betting range from those positions. I like the sizing. I mean, pretty much everything is executed, you know, by the book like I like it. And I say like I like it on purpose, because just because I like it doesn't mean it's correct. You know what I mean? Sometimes I might have something that I like that is not correct by according to somebody else, which is totally fine. And here I write, okay, cutoff open. I cannot see how many hands we have with the cutoff. As you notice, I don't know here how many hands I have with the cutoff. We cannot see, because your HUD is gigantic. Okay, you said he folds 50% of the time versus 3-bets, but we have only 4 hands with him. Do we have 4 hands or 400 hands? Okay, talk to you about 3-betting range versus steal. Yes, deuces, 3s, 4, 5, 6s I include into my 3-betting range versus the stealing positions. And here, see what I saw. It was 50% fold to 3-bet, right? Here. Now watch, after this hand, it becomes 67, right?
Yeah.
So that tells me that we have 3 hands. Like, he has 3 hand sample size here. And 2 of those 3 hands he folded. So you look at the sample size before you made the 3-bet of a 2 hands. That's not good. This is an issue to you. See what I wrote. Since from 50% it changed to 67, that means that you just made a decision based on 2 hands that we had a chance to call or fold the 3-bet. 2 hands, man. 2 hands. And then later on you open his stats just to confirm exactly my suspicion. You open his stats right here somewhere. There you go. So basically fold to 3-bet, 67% out of 3 hands. That means 2 times he folded out of 3. That's nothing. That's not a lot. You know what I mean?
Yeah, makes sense.
Where is the total hands we have with the guy? It's not 278. This is it? Do we have 278 hands with him?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, but see, no one has 3-bet him.
I saw him 3 times.
Yeah, people just haven't 3-bet him. So we might have almost 300 hands with him, but the sample size of a 3-bet, my minimum is 10, right? So you would have seen nothing there. And when you see nothing, what do we play? GTO, because we're not gonna make a generalization based on insufficient data. Because when the data is insufficient, we're better off playing the hand in a vacuum. Like, hey, I don't know anything about that guy. Yes, we do have 300 hands with him, but not in a 3-bet pot. So that 300 hands doesn't really matter when we haven't had 3-bet hands sample size for him. And here what I say, sample size. And yep, I saw you open his stats, and now we can see little sample size about that guy. Okay. And this is the last hand that I actually reviewed, because there's no more hands as far as I can tell.
Yeah, that was.
I mean, here you look for this guy that just won a huge pot here, but you can find him, which is good that you actually, you know, look for those guys. I mean, he's not a fish. This guy is not a fish. He just happened to win a huge pot. So, take notes. Sample size. Change that in your HUD and look for the sample size. Like actually before, when I was playing, I had on my screen 4 things I need to look for. Now, one was stack size. One was fold to 3-bet because I usually play a heavy 3-bet game. All right. Sample size of the 3-bet. And opening range. If I remember it correctly, of course, because you know there's time that has passed since then. So I had a big problem that I have a friend of mine. We're both kind of coaching each other, playing together, and he was like, "Bro, are you stupid? Like this is the 17th time I'm telling you to look at their fold to 3-bet. Like literally, you're like, are you dumb?" And he's not saying that to offend me in any way, because every time I 3-bet, he's like, "Don't you see that this guy doesn't fold to 3-bet? Why are you 3-betting him?" And honestly, I didn't know why. I 3-bet him because I'm not looking, I'm not paying attention. So, same goes with if you're paying attention to the wrong things. Like, you're not paying attention to the sample size is one thing. Then paying attention to the sample size that is insufficient is also a mistake.
Yeah.
So my 2 best advices from this session, will be sample size. Take a note of how many hands you got with a guy. Not every sample size is created equal. 10 hands and 1,000 hands is very different. Second, take notes. Actually, let me write it down here. Sample size. Take notes. Take notes. Save hands. Save the hand and take a note later, if you will. Okay? Thinking of future streets in terms of bet sizing. SPR, do you know what SPR is?
No.
Stack to pot ratio.
Okay.
Like basically how big the pot's gonna become relative to your stack. So as we talk like in target range. What range do we target? And from what range do we expect and want a call? And for how many streets? So basically, when we make a bet, we gotta have an idea. Hey, what are we waiting here to call us? I mean, you cannot just make a bet just because of it. You know, oh, I'm just gonna make a bet because I saw it on the video the other day. No. You make a bet because there is something. Okay, you have a king queen and you're like, oh, I'm targeting a king. I'm targeting a flush draw. I'm targeting middle pair, whatever. Now, second question is how many streets of value you want to take from this hand. For example, if you have a king 8 with a king on the board, maybe you gotta go for 1 street. You know what I mean? Bet on the flop to protect your hand. Maybe check back the turn if the board is safe enough. And the river, you check back because you're not gonna make a lot of money. I mean, people will not call you in middle pair for a double barrel. But if you have top set, you're going for 3 streets. You know, or whatever set. It doesn't have to be top set. So think about what you target range and how many streets of value do we want. Sometimes we can take 1 street on the flop, 1 street on the turn. Sometimes we can take 1 street on the flop, 1 street on the river, you know. Sometimes we check the flop, bet, turn, bet, river. It's still 2 streets of value.
Yeah.
All right. Any other questions that you have?
Yeah, so far not at the moment, but yeah.
All right. I mean, when you do have, shoot them. I will stop the recording now. I'm gonna upload it to YouTube. It's gonna be visible only to you, and I will ask you if I want to use some of the. Alright guys, this was the last from this session with the student. I hope you enjoyed the video. As usual, help me out grow the channel, give it a thumbs up, subscribe and comment. That helps the YouTube algorithm to put me in front of a bigger audience. Thanks again, and I'll see you next Sunday on the Sunday warm-up.
Okay.
Okay, try that and just see the results, man.